Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, Diamonds and Washi. My name is Katie, and today I am here with my month in review of October 2025. Now, I just feel like I have to apologize right up front for the current state of my voice. I have been battling a cold cough bug for a bit over a week now, and I just am still working on getting my voice back to 100%, but I really wanted to hop on here and do a little set of mini reviews of the canvases that I worked on in October. It's actually a month that I'm really proud of in terms of my diamond painting progress. I think that this is the month that I probably diamond painted the most so far this year, and I really, really love the projects that I worked on this month. And so I have 4 completed diamond paintings to share with you. And as part of this month in review, I'm going to give you a look at just sort of the good, the bad, the ugly, the stats, everything about these kits in case you were debating if you wanted to maybe try to snag one of these. Now, I will say all 4 of my completed kits this month are ones that I loved so much that I can wholeheartedly recommend. So spoiler alert, I suppose, but yeah, this was a really, really, really good month, and all 4 of these kits happened to be projects that worked for Drills and Chills, which was an event I was hosting in the months of September and October. We wrapped up on Halloween. I am still, if you participated in that event and are wondering what the state of things is, I had honestly just a complete wrench thrown in by getting sick, and both of my kids getting sick. My oldest went down here in the past couple of days, and so it's kind of been nonstop. And I just want to apologize for the delays with prize distribution. I know a lot of you were eager to hear who won the grand prizes for that event, and please know that as soon as I can get myself back into like a little bit healthier place, just physically speaking, I'm going to be on it. We're going to try to have those announcements out for you guys really soon. We had said, here at the beginning of November, in the first couple weeks of November. So please do stay tuned for that from me and my co-host Lindsay from Emeralds and Fairy Lights. But anyway, sorry for the little side note there. Drills and Chills was all about fall and Halloween, and I have a lot of kits that fall under that theme. And so this was a chance for me to really dive into those kits. As far as WIPs go, or works in progress, I really only have one going into the month of October, or to the month of November, because I finished my final project just a couple of days before the end of the month, and between being sick and having family in town and having things going on, I actually took a few days off from diamond painting and didn't start my new project until yesterday. It's currently November 3rd. Yeah, I'm a little late on getting this month in review filmed. So I might give you, if you want, I might give you a little early peek at what that WIP is. But yeah, on the YouTube side of things, because I always like to just mention, I had 22 videos go up. Me being sick again threw a wrench in. I didn't have as many videos go up here at the very end of the month like I normally would, but still lots of stuff, lots of reviews and unboxings and whip and chats and drills and chills videos. So feel free to go and check those out if you missed out on anything. You can check those out on my channel. So anyway, let's talk about these actual kits themselves. So like I said, this is a series of kind of mini reviews of these kits. I often will do dedicated post-review videos for individual kits like this one. I did a start to finish style video on where you can see me time lapse working on this entire kit. If you like that kind of video, I'll have it linked below. But I don't always have the chance to do individual videos for every individual kit. And also some of you really like a short and sweet version of reviewing these kits, which is what these month in review videos really are for. That said, I have a playlist of month in review videos that go back to, I think, the beginning of 2021, where you can go back and see each of the different kits that I've worked on over the years and hear my thoughts on them. So I'll have that playlist linked below as well. Okay, so first kit that I finished during the month was called The Ghost of Eras Past. It's from Jaded Gem Shop, and the artist is the Witchy Stitcher. Let's look at the stats breakdown here. So I started this one on October 3rd and finished it on October 6th. It was a pretty quick kit. It's pretty small, 22.75 by 31 centimeters, 31 colors, square drills. I gave this one a 4 out of 10. For confetti enjoyment, I gave it a 9 out of 10. And drill count was just around 11,000 diamonds. I do track my drill count. I started doing that this year, and I'll give you guys an updated tally of the drills that I placed this month and what my overall tally for the year is so far, if you're curious where we're at. Then I wrote down things like what I loved, and then the meh, and then some other notes. That's what I always try to track in my paper logbook. I'm getting a little close to the end of this one. I don't think I'll finish it I'm not going to finish it before the end of the year, but probably early 2026 I'll be finishing up my second logbook here. But anyway, Ghost of Eras Past. If you couldn't guess from my ranking, my enjoyment on this one is a 9 out of 10. This was so much fun to work on. I worked on it while also listening to Taylor Swift's brand new album that came out at the beginning of the month. And while I have mixed feelings on the album itself, if you love it, I love it for you. And there's things I loved about it. This is not a Taylor Swift review channel. I will say at least that the process of like working on this one while listening to that was really fun for me. I am a Swiftie. I like to think not the rabid variety, but just generally really enjoy her music. And so this was a really fun throwback to the Eras tour. And I love the Witchy Stitcher's take on this. I was really impressed with the level of detail that the Witchy Stitcher really packed into this. The Witchy Stitcher does pixel art. And so I guess inherently like did the charting for this. Jaded Gem Shop didn't have to do any charting besides like adding in special drills. We have some amazing special drills all throughout a lot of these glimmer diamonds, for example. But the Witchy Stitcher is mostly known for cross-stitch charts and is just kind of more recently crossed into diamond painting. And truly, the tiny little details packed in every square was so much fun. Now, as far as Jaded Gem Shop and the quality goes, I liked a lot about it. I did find that this luminescent color around the edges was kind of trash prone and kind of finicky to work around or work with. They weren't my favorite. I had to do a lot of picking out to make sure I was picking out diamonds that I thought would lay nicely and evenly on this canvas, but I had enough. I didn't have to put down any diamonds that I really hated, I don't think. The 310 was also a little bit trash prone, and otherwise though, there were one or two colors. Often it's these lighter colors that I find myself fussing with. So a handful of trash prone colors in these kits, but overall, like I didn't have a headache of working with these colors, and I like the canvas material a lot and the really sticky glue a lot, and just the overall quality. I'm a fan of this kit a lot. So that is Ghost of Eras Past, and this was my first finish for October and was my 29th finish of the year. Now, the next kit that I'm going to show needs a spoiler warning. It is going to be the Ghosts Doing Stuff kit from Diamond Art Studio UK and the artist Teeny Weeny Cross Stitch. This is a mystery, like I mentioned. It comes on a blank canvas and has a set of 20 little envelopes in it that each within it contain an image. It's, around this big, and you can complete them in any order that you want to. This particular kit is a series of smaller images. Diamond Art Studio UK does also have some chart to art kits that are like this with a blank canvas and have the envelopes, where instead of making up a series of smaller images, all the pieces actually make up one larger image. And in that case, it matters where you put the individual envelope images. But in this case, it was really, you could put them anywhere you wanted to. You could tell from the theme, this is going to have ghosts doing stuff, but it's a mystery. And so for those of you that want to preserve that mystery, I will have a timestamp on the screen that you can skip to if you want to make sure that you do not have this spoiled for you. I would still love to see you on the other side, because I have two other kits to share with you that I'm really, really excited about. So this is your last warning. I'm going to pull the canvas onto screen now, so make sure you fast forward it if you don't want to see it. And here we go. So this is Ghost Doing Stuff. And it is so freaking cute. I can't even stand it. I loved this kit. It's adorable. And I talked about this in my Drills and Chills kind of recap video. But I actually enjoy this a lot more than I expected to. I enjoy what mysteries are in concept a lot. I like the idea of not knowing exactly what I'm going to be working on and being surprised by it. and having an image slowly come to life. What was neat about it was that it's a blank canvas and the chart itself is in black and white. So even once you open up like this first day, you don't necessarily know exactly what that image is going to be. It's just once you start laying drills down and the colors start coming together that you go, oh, I see what this is. And it was fun to kind of try to guess as different parts got filled in. I really enjoyed that a lot. This actually reminded me of the Ghosts of Eras Past kit in that Teeny Weeny Cross Stitch, the artist, is also a cross-stitch artist that's crossing over into diamond painting and has done this as pixel art. And I believe Diamond Art Studio UK is mostly just gone in and turned it into a diamond painting, obviously, but like done a lot of the special drills and stuff like that, and figured out how, conceptually how to do this kit. And that said, I feel like Teeny Weeny Cross Stitch just packed a ton of details in, and it works so incredibly well. If you haven't done a mystery kit before, or if you haven't done a cross-stitch conversion project before, I feel like these charts to art kits from Diamond Art Studio UK are a really fantastic introduction to those concepts. I would highly recommend checking them out, especially because the size point, let's talk stats. The size point is 40 by 45 centimeters. It's a nice smaller size. This had just 26 colors in it. It had square drills, which is going to be what happens by necessity when you're doing a mystery kit. Because if it were round diamonds, if that's going on a white blank canvas, the round diamonds don't cover up that glue in that area of the canvas completely. You're going to see like a white outline around every single diamond. This means that square drills just work better for this conceptually. Confetti, I gave this a 4 out of 10. There was some confetti, but honestly, a fair amount of color blocking. I didn't find this overwhelming in terms of confetti at all. There was always some color blocking in these background swirls and in like the ghosts themselves. It was very manageable. And enjoyment, I gave this a 9 out of 10. I loved this one so much. It was really fun and it went faster than I expected. In part, I think because I was loving it so much and didn't want to put it down. So I wrote things that I loved and the meh. There were a couple of trash prone colors. And then I just want to note, in case you read this, I want to explain. This is something that I wrote down just because it was in my head. Just sort of like a note for myself, but I honestly genuinely don't think this company can do anything different or should do anything different about this. But it was a tiny thing, but the way that it works by nature is that all of the individual pattern keeper charts came as individual files, and it was just a little bit tedious to have to individually import them to pattern keeper and then go in and set like the different settings that I wanted to use for each individual chart, which maybe you can set defaults for that. I'm not sure. I'm not like a pattern keeper expert, but still I'd import each of these individually, and it's a whole like bunch of separate charts in pattern keeper itself. But this is like so subjective. Again, I don't think that this shop should do this differently conceptually. I think they should do separate charts that you can pick and choose which ones you want to work on in which order, if that makes sense. So just still a note, but the pros far outweigh the cons for me with this kit. The mystery concept that I mentioned, the materials, like the overall quality, just kind of the usual suspects as I call them, like the canvas material, glue, drill quality, symbol clarity, customer service, all those things top notch from this company. I'm a huge fan of this shop and how they do things. And this was very consistent with my experience with them so far. I like that they have really quick international shipping. I'm a US resident and they're in the UK. And they not only eat some of the cost of that shipping themselves, but it also just generally is a faster turnaround time, which is nice. And they only tend to list things once it's in stock. They'll sometimes do pre-orders, but they're one of the most communicative shops out there when it comes to keeping everyone informed. They are just top notch in terms of that customer service and communication. It's so good. But yeah, this was a great kit. I really enjoyed it a lot and highly recommend checking out this company, even if you're not necessarily looking to do a cross-stitch conversion or a mystery. They have a ton of other more standard diamond paintings that you should totally check out. This was finish number 2 for the month and finish number 30 for the year 2025. And welcome back to all of you that skipped ahead from the mystery. I am here now to show you my third finish for the month, which I freaking love this kit so much. Let me go ahead and flip to that page in my logbook. This was so much fun. I was so over the moon when I saw that this artwork was being released for Diamond Art Club's Halloween 2025 drop. This is Cozy Autumn by the artist Rita Konya, aka Aria Illustrations. I'm going to show you kind of parts of this one. And then in a moment, I will go ahead and put a picture of the whole canvas on screen because this is a big one. It's a big boy. And you should get to see it all in all her glory. So, all right, go ahead. And if you like, take a look at the screen if you want to see the whole canvas there. Yeah, this artwork, I'm obsessed. I am so obsessed with this freaking artwork. Okay. This was artwork that I remembered from voting. And Diamond Art Club does rounds of voting that they will share with their customers where you can vote for your favorite images, and the ones with the most votes will tend to get produced as diamond paintings. They'd done a round of Halloween voting way back, and earlier in the year, I shouldn't say way back, it was earlier in the year, and I remember seeing this piece and being like, please, 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 let this one make it through. And if it does, it's going to be a drop everything to work on it kind of kit. And that's literally how I phrased it in my logbook here. If you were around in 2024 at the end of the year, they came out with a kit called Cozy Christmas by the same artist. Very similar conceptually in terms of there's a character, there's a girl that's just like curled up. She's actually got a really pretty seasonal quilt over her legs too. Very Christmas themed. It's got a lot of details and a lot going on, really similar to this one. And so like I worked on that one last year because I loved it so much. So it's not personally a surprise to me that I needed to work on this one. It's very much like a companion piece to that one. And this particular style of artwork from Aria Illustrations is the kind that I gravitate towards, as opposed to some of her others that are more like, I don't know what the phrase is, like the correct terminology is, but it's more like a portrait style where it's more like head on, often has like a just like solid color background. This is more my jam. So, okay, stats, 69.9 by 93.8 centimeters, 71 colors, square diamonds, get all that detail. This is kind of the crazy part for me. It feels like I was thrown back to the pace of diamond painting that I used to do like a couple of years ago, where I was really diamond painting quite quickly. I started this on October 15th, finished it on October 26th. And I gave this one an 8 out of 10 for confetti, 7 out of 10 for enjoyment. Drill count was over 100,000 diamonds. So this kit I could not put down. And this was also the point where I was like, okay, let's see how my shoulder really is doing. I feel like my shoulder has healed. I had a shoulder injury that happened early, like very, very end of May, beginning of June this year, that came from too much diamond painting in a very much non-ergonomic setting. I wasn't in my usual home setting or anything, and just was diamond painting way too much, and I injured my shoulder. And so for a few months, I significantly slowed down my pace of diamond painting. I physically couldn't tolerate diamond painting more than an hour or two a day. And so I was trying to rest, trying to listen to my body. And the past month or two, I just noticed a really big shift in terms of not experiencing pain in my shoulder, not just in diamond painting, but in other day-to-day activities that had been causing pain. I felt like, okay, I seem to have healed. My physical therapist said that she wanted me to try diamond painting more, try getting back to more of what I had been doing. And this was truly like the litmus test for that. And it went fine. I haven't felt any aggravation or any other, pain from my shoulder with the increased diamond painting. And this really just was a kit I couldn't put down. I didn't even expect to finish it by the end of October. I wasn't necessarily setting out to complete it super quickly, but I just was enjoying the process of seeing it come to life so much that I couldn't stop. So I was pulling this out all the time. I went right through it. I blitzed right through it. So, it did have a lot more confetti than I was originally expecting. Like when I saw the original artwork and everything, I did not expect it to have the level of confetti that it did. There's so much confetti. I expected this, to be fair. I expected all the confetti in here, but there's a ton of confetti. This was the first section that I opened up, and these flowers are pure confetti. Even like all the wood grain colors are confetti. The shading in the cat was confetti. There was a lot of confetti in this first section. I worked on it. It took me a bit, and I thought, what have I gotten myself into? I'm not going to finish this before the end of November at this rate. No, it's okay. I settled into a rhythm, and it was fine, but very confetti heavy piece that it felt a little bit tedious by the end, especially like there were some areas that were less fun for me. I didn't love working on like the wood grain. That wasn't exciting for me to work on. I didn't love doing like the leaves through the window, but I found ways to mitigate it. So what I would do is I would work on this in rows, like horizontal rows. And so I would open up this row and I would work on a couple of sections with like these leaves. Okay, boring, tedious, whatever. But then I got into like 2 sections of color blocking and books and this, oh my gosh, this amazing pale yellow iridescent diamond that's in the spines of these books. Like you can see the light grabbing those special drills. That like shine is so good. It was like, okay, tedious, power through, and then, oh, this is lovely and fantastic. And oh, here's a cat. I love this cat so much. It reminds me of a cat that we had up until a few years ago when he passed. And he would do this. He was an orange cat, just like this. He loved to be on top of things. He wanted to have the high ground. He loved being on top of like the backs of chairs like this. And then I ended up saving the row in the section that had the character's face for last and her hair. And I love how Diamond Art Club rendered her face and the shading in her hair. Holy cow, though. This last section I did was like this, and her sweater and her hair are 1,000% confetti. If you look, you can see this is several different shades of gray. There's an amazing kind of pale gray, a bee in the mix here, and her hair is multiple shades of red and orange, but it's perfect. Doesn't it look so good? You can see like the cabling texture in her sweater. It's so freaking gorgeous. I am in love with it and how this turned out. And like the special drills in the cover of her book, and the pale yellow iridescent moons in the quilts. That's one of my favorite parts too. This kit was gorgeous, and I don't know how many other room style pieces that Aria Illustrations has, but I need Diamond Art Club to do all of them because I'm gonna get and work on every single one. I love this piece. This was so good. This was finished number 3 for the month and number 31 for the year. Now, I finished this one on October 26th. Is that what I wrote down? Yeah. That does not mean that this next kit I finished in less than 5 days. This next kit I had started before Cozy Autumn and then put on hold as soon as I had Cozy Autumn in hand. This kit went on hold until I finished Cozy Autumn. But number 4 for the month is Hades and Persephone by the artist Mrs. Butter D and is from Diamond Art Club. And this kit, look, I love Mrs. Butter D's artwork. She's one of my favorite artists that Diamond Art Club has. Her color palettes are chef's kiss, absolutely beautiful. And what happened was I was twiddling my thumbs. I had finished my Ghost Doing Stuff to Chart to Art and my Ghost to Arrows Pass kit. And I thought, this Diamond Art Club Halloween drop, what is happening? I expected it to happen by now and it hasn't, but I feel like it's coming and I need something else to tide me over. What do I want to work on? And I was looking back through the kits that I'd worked on so far this year, and I didn't have a Mrs. Butter D kit in the mix. And I thought, well, that's not acceptable. A lot of them are just kits I want to like hold on to in my rainy day stash. So I decided to work on this one. It technically qualifies for Drills and Chills because of the mythos of Hades and Persephone when it happens seasonally, the skull imagery, those kinds of things. And, but mostly I love the color palette, and this is one of my favorite myths that's out there. You guys have heard my just obsession with Hades and Persephone in general by now, but let's talk stats. Excuse me. Size 55.6 by 78.7 centimeters, 63 colors, round diamonds. I also wanted a round drill kit in my life. I started this on October 9th, finished it on October 30th. Confetti 5 out of 10, enjoyment 8 out of 10. Drill count around 57,000 diamonds. So, thoughts on this one. Color palette was beautiful. The overall rendering was really, really pretty. In camera, some of these color transitions look really harsh. I mentioned this in a recent video. It's not that harsh in person, and it matches the original artwork really well, but it's something that, like, when I look through the camera lens, I'm like, ooh, that looks maybe not quite right, but it is a little softer in person. I thought the drill quality was really good. I really enjoyed Diamond Art Club and how they have improved their round drill grid to be a little bit snugger, like a little bit tighter than it used to be. So multi-placing was really easy. I really love the special drills in the glow of the pomegranate. There's like a light blue fairy dust that's really pretty. I was on the fence. This was one of my mez I wrote down. I was a tiny bit on the fence about how I felt about the gold electro diamond placement. There's something about it that, like, I see how it works against like the lighting and like the shadows in this one, and I love me a gold electro diamond so much and in metallic areas like this, but there's something about in person, especially when I'm up closer in areas like this, where it almost stands out just like a little tiny bit too much to me. Now that's going to be subjective, but I'm just unsure about those. I love it in the rings. I love it in Hades' crown for the most part, and like the symbol. There's a lot of places I think it works really well, but I hate to be critical, but it wasn't necessarily my personal favorite, is I guess how I'll put it. I also, when I put a pause on this kit, I was maybe 3/4 done. I just kind of had this top row and part of the second from the last row left to do, I think. And, it was a little bit boring to come back to this kit and just have mostly this kind of background color, these background bits to do. Like, that wasn't super exciting to do. So I ended up sectioning it off and saving the more interesting parts for last to kind of help me like power through that part. That's one danger that I have found when I decide to put a piece on hold to like go back to another piece, is then I sometimes feel like I've lost some momentum. I think that's one of the reasons why I tend to be someone that I like having just one WIP going at a time. And even if I have 2 WIPs going, I don't know. I just feel like I get more momentum more easily when I have only more like 1, maybe 2 WIPs going. So overall though, I really did love this piece. I love this artist's work so much. This really capped off a month of kits I just loved working on. I feel so wonderful about what diamond painting looked like for me in October, and I feel like it honestly is reflected in how much diamond painting I did. I'm noticing so strongly this year in particular, when I've been tracking like drill counts and stuff like that, how much of a difference it makes when I really, really love the artwork, love, just everything about the kit that I'm working on, and the quality is there, all these kinds of things. I diamond paint faster, and I love the craft that much more. And so leaning into that this month in particular and just completely diving into, I am going to work on what I love. I need to do so much more of that because I love it. I don't know how else to put it. I notice the difference, really, is what I'm saying. So, yes, that's finish number 4 for the month and number 32 for the year. Now let's talk about WIPs. I technically have 1 official WIP going into November that's like in progress, and that's my temperature project. And with everything going on, I did not actually get the month of October done, but I will still show you where we're at on this one. So a temperature project is where you can track the temperature where you live. In this case, I'm tracking the high each day for where I live in cross-stitch or diamond painting form. I'm doing this one as a cross-stitch conversion to a diamond painting. This chart is from Christie's Corner, and the materials are from Jaded Gem Shop. And each shelf represents a month, and the blues are going to be the colder temperatures, the purples are kind of the medium temperature ranges, and the pinks get into the warmer temperature ranges. And so January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, and then October is going to go here. It will be a lot more purples, and like here at the end of the month, we had our kind of requisite heat wave that we always have here in Southern California at the end of October. We always have, I call it summer's last gasp, and I hate it because it always lands really close to Halloween, and it just it can kind of throw a wrench in trick-or-treating and kids' costumes and stuff. But we did okay. It wasn't as bad. We didn't hit triple digits like we have in some past years, but we did have a stretch of 90-degree days here at the end of October that were not super great. So I'll have some pinks in there in the end, but hopefully now we're in November, we're going into some cooler weather, and I'll have some, purples, maybe going into some blues as we get towards the end of the year. So I'll play some catch up, and hopefully by the time it's time for my November month in review video, hopefully I will have both of those months caught up to share with you. So I'm liking this one in a lot of ways. There's things I like about it. I like the color palette I chose better for my color ranges and stuff. I like the special drills I chose better. I like the materials better. I'm just not having as much fun with this chart as I was hoping, I suppose. Because there's things that I liked about last year's temperature project, but a lot that I really disliked about it. So maybe for 2026, I'll be able to find like the perfect happy medium of things that I love everything about it. But I don't know, this one has just not been as fun as I was expecting, but I'm going to stick it out to the end rather. Now I want to give you a quick bonus look at my current other WIP going into November rather. And that is this kit by ArtDot called Cozy Reading. And I just kitted this one up in my WIP and chat that went up yesterday, and I did a section yesterday and a section today. I really wanted to work on this kit and be able to see what ArtDot's square drills are really like, and especially because they've said that this is a new and improved grid, like a tighter grid. And so I'm going to go ahead and give you guys my first impressions, and I'm going to give them this feedback too. There's still gapping in this. I need to go back and look at others that have worked on other square drill kits from them prior to them saying they made improvements. I want to say from the glimpses I remember seeing that the gapping was much worse on those, but I think there's still room for improvement here, and I'm going to tell them as much. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it with you guys either. They did send this kit to me. They didn't tell me I needed to work on it or ask me to work on it or even hint that I should work on it. I wanted to work on it because I want to see what the quality on their kits is like and to see, okay, I'm hearing there's gapping. Let's see what this is actually like to work on. So this honestly, what this reminds me of is some of Diamond Art Club's slightly older round drill kits and that grid, where it's almost like I couldn't place more than 5 or 6 diamonds in a row at a time without them being too crunched together and leaving too much space at the end. It was like the first 5 or 6 would place nicely and evenly, and then after that, because I use a 12 placer usually, much past that, and I was having to go back and straighten and kind of even things out rather. And really similar experience with this one. So I think that this is probably, I'm going to verify, I'm going to go back and look at some others that worked on previous iterations of these kits. My thought, caveat that I'm not saying it's 100%, just my vague recollection is that this is an improvement, but there's room for more improvement. And I'm hoping that they're going to be receptive to that. So just a couple of sections done on this one. I'm going to keep going. And because, this is my first kit working on from this company, I kind of want to get into some of the other colors. Like, let's get into some of these lighter colors and see, is it also a problem there? Is it a drill thing or is it a grid thing? Is it both? I don't know. But I want to get into some of these lighter colors and see, because I got into a little bit of these lighter colors right here and it didn't seem as fussy, but like there aren't big chunks of them. So that's what we got to get into is down here and see, okay, what are we working with here? So I'm planning on finishing this one in November and, giving feedback to them and giving you guys a review and stuff too. So bless you. Other plans for November. I have this one. I also just recently put up a poll in my Patreon for my Patreon members to decide what another kit I should work on in November. This is kind of an in-between month for me, in between Drills and Chills seasonal, like fall Halloween kits, and I'm not ready for winter and Christmas kits yet personally. So I'm thinking I'm just going to I'm looking back. At the beginning of the year, I did a video of 20 kits and 5 goals for 2025. And I want to take a look at what I did do rather before I put these kits up for a vote for my Patreon to help me pick one to work on, is what kits are on that list that I still want to maybe try to get to before the end of the year. I'm not going to get to all of them. let's see. And so a handful of kits on there, and one of those ended up getting the most votes, and I think I'm going to be working on this month. It's called Garden. It's from Carrot Art, and I haven't done a kit from them in a couple of years, so I'm excited to get to that one and hoping that it's going to be a positive experience. It's square drills. I think it's going to be extremely confetti heavy, so I may need to get like a nice color blocky round drill kit in my life to work on too, but jury's out on if I'm gonna, like, there's part of me that's tempted to go ahead and start Garden while I also have this going, but I literally just talked about how I feel like I get better momentum when I only have one WIP going. But this artwork is really cute, but it doesn't get me like super freaking excited like, you know, Hades and Persephone and Cozy Autumn did. This is just like this is really cute artwork. And I'm really curious about this company's diamond paintings. And so that's what's kind of motivating me for this one. So I just think that I'm going to be a little slower on it or less motivated to do it compared to the others. And so it's like, well, would something like this be helpful for me to have another WIP going? I don't know. TBD, I guess you guys will see, but there's not really any events I'm necessarily thinking I'm going to join in on. I might casually participate in the, is it Season of Spangler event, but any events that I do join in on, it's going to just be mostly informally, just, you know, because I happen to have a kit that I want to work on that fits the theme, but not entering for prizes, just, you know, oh, fun, you know, community thing. But anyway, you guys, that's it for this October month in review. This is the part where you guys tell me what October looked like for you. Do you have any kits that you worked on and or completed that you really loved? Do you have any exciting plans for November? Kits that you're stoked to get to? New releases you're hoping to happen? Or any events that you're joining in on? Anything that you feel like sharing about October and November for you? I would love to read all about them in the comments below. Now, if you're not already subscribed, I would love to have you here as part of my community. You'll see these month in review videos at the end of each month, as well as I do year in review videos, which is a much bigger and fun undertaking where you get to see all of my completed diamond paintings throughout the year. That'll be coming up before we know it, and so stay tuned for that. I also do wheelie whip and chats on Monday mornings if you want some company while you're crafting, along with other diamond painting related videos. So I'm gonna let you go though, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed getting a look at my diamond paintings for the month of October. Look forward to hearing your thoughts below, and hope you're doing very well and staying safe and healthy. I hope you have a day and a week that's as wonderful as you are. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.